But the real difference here in men is he's a businessman and I'm a fucking Spartan.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian, the body snatcher Whyte, Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, and Sparring. I believe this is Sparring Wars Volume 14, okay? And this is what Dillian had to say. Dillian said, or claims, he left Tyson Fury sobbing after sparring knockdowns, but the Gypsy King insists that he used him as a punching bag. Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte have very different recollections of their old sparring sessions back in 2012 and 13. The rival British heavyweights are set to fight, of course, April 23rd. I will be there live. It's going to be huge. I'm going to love it. Fury and Whyte have a long-standing rivalry which stems back many years and begins as a friendship. The Gypsy King recruited the body snatcher for sparring when they were both young pros. At the time, they got on well, but this relationship has since soured, and memories of their sparring sessions vary. Whyte told Talk Sports, he said he was getting ready to fight David Haye, and his trainer at the time was trying to get him to walk me down and pressure me like he would Haye. He was frustrated that day because I kept hitting him, countering him, and dropping him. Wow. He said I dropped him twice that day. So he was just frustrated and he was sobbing. And then his coach cussed him and said, listen, if that's what you're doing here now, David Haye's going to knock you out. So get up and get on with it. Now, 2 years later, with a pair set to fight, Fury has given a different version of events. He told BT, he said, I sparred Dillian Whyte many times, and every single time I used him as a punching bag. There were times when he couldn't defend himself, and there was a time where we had to stop the sparring, and Huey had to spar him, my cousin, instead. Huey was about 18 at the time, and he used to batter him. All these stories of him knocking me down 25 times in sparring, highly unlikely anyone believes that rubbish. Fury added, there is no substance to it. Knocking me down umpteen times and all that. Just say he did knock me down 8 times in sparring. Well, all know sparring ain't fighting, is it? How many times have you seen people in the gym get absolutely busted up and then on fight night they box like Sugar Ray Leonard? Sometimes you don't have good days in the gym, bad days, whatever, but sparring ain't fighting. And just for the record, he never knocked me down once. I've never been knocked down in sparring ever. Those are the words of Dillian Whyte and Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. This is an interesting sparring war. I'm going to tell you why. Based on what I've heard, okay, I think it went like this. I believe that they sparred many times. And let's take an account of Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury. They were friends, right? Okay. Obviously, Dillian Whyte was a good enough sparring partner to stay relevant, to be sparring Tyson Fury all those times. Right? And based on what Dillian Whyte said, you know, his coach saying what his coach said to him, like, hey, you know, he cussed him out saying, listen, that's what you're going to do. David Haye's going to knock you out. So get up and get on with it. Like that. Those are particular words that he paraphrased or said that coach said. You know what I mean? So I think there were bad days in sparring for both people. You know, and I think what Tyson did was, I think Tyson was, I wasn't there, right? But I think based on what I've seen, Tyson made an excuse for something that never happened. Pay attention. Even if he did knock me down 8 times, right? Sparring ain't fighting. How many times you seen people get busted up and then they come back and box like Sugar Ray Leonard? Remember he just said that? Right? Well, think about it. Why would you have to say that if that didn't happen? You wouldn't have to make an excuse for anything that didn't happen. Counterpunch. So you're looking at Tyson Fury saying, hey, you know, sparring ain't fighting no way, which I disagree. You're still getting hit. You're still getting beat up. You just got headgear on. It's not full contact, but it's enough contact to hurt you. It's enough contact for you to fall. It's enough contact for a guy to get hit in the stomach and die in 2019. Or 20, was it? Australian guy. So sparring is fighting to me. You know what I mean? It's just the only difference between sparring, you have more opportunities. See, if you sparred many a times, you know what I mean? Many a times, that's that much more opportunity to do things to that nature because it's a numbers game. You're not going to fight and spar and win every round. That's why Teofimo Lopez came on our, this platform and said, my son never lost a round of professional or sparring. I was like, bullshit. You know what I mean? Nobody's like that. Okay? Floyd Mayweather has been beat up before by Spadafora. You know what I mean? Paul Spadafora gave him the business, gave him good rounds. He got good rounds. Did Floyd get good rounds too? Of course he did. But that doesn't mean Floyd won every round. It doesn't work that way. Tyson Fury doesn't win every round in pro, so why would he win every round in sparring? You see what I mean? So I think that's Tyson Fury's pride speaking, ego. Like, hell no, he never, ever did that. But then again, it ain't fighting anyway. So if it's not fighting anyway, let's just stop this bullshit. Why would you pick a number like 8 times? Like, why would you just pull that random number out? Truth of the matter is they got the best of each other. I think that's what kept them competitive. That's what kept Dillian Whyte in the circle because Dillian Whyte was useful to the camp. Make sense? Let me give you another example. Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Jarrell Big Baby Miller was in the camp of Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury said, I knocked him and dropped him down 7 times, 8 times, right? And then he sent him packing because, dude, I can't do anything with you. You know what I'm saying? Well, if Dillian Whyte was all that bad, he would have shipped him packing or sent him packing like he did Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller didn't really object the way he's supposed to being Big Baby Miller because Big Baby Miller can talk. Hablatera mucho, right? He can talk. But when that was said, he was like, oh, you gonna believe that? You gonna believe that? Oh, you gonna believe this? Oh, you gonna believe that too? I'm like, dude, come on, really? Oh, that's my boy. I like Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury got the best of Big Baby, but I don't think he got the best of Dillian Whyte like he did Big Baby because he sent Big Baby packing. Did he do that to Dillian Whyte? No, he didn't. They became friends because one thing about it, I've sparred with a good friend of mine. And when we have sessions, it's like old school. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that was good. Let's go get a burger. You know what I mean? Let's get something to eat. You know what I mean? And talk about it. So I think that's what brought them closer together because they were competitive together. But anyway, this concludes the sparring awards of Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte and Tyson Fury. You guys tell me what you think about the debacle of this sparring discussion between these two. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.